We have to let go of what is not us. And letting go is painful because sometimes what we're not is who we think we are. And sometimes what we're not seems easier to just be than who we truly are.
Use the mind and create something you have never seen in this world. You're creating something in the mind. You have never seen it in person. Why? Because it's not existing yet. Yet you can see it here. This can mean a fear also. A fear what's going to happen tomorrow. A fear what will happen to my children if I will not be able to take care of them anymore. So there is something you're projecting already. You're projecting it inside of you, and the feelings based upon that way of thinking still makes it real to you. This is the reason why it's so important to know what are you placing inside the mind.
If you feel like you're at a stage in your life where it feels like nothing is going right, or you're just in a perpetual state of repeat failures, dead ends, and exhaustion, I need you to know 3 things. 1, this doesn't last forever. 2, you have to experience these difficult times in order to grow as a person. And 3, once you come out on the other side, that you are willing, even when you are tired, or you may feel lost, or when you even lose confidence in your own abilities, your faith remained.
If nobody is there to pick you up, show yourself that you're there. When nobody understands you, give yourself even just a second of recognition that you understand your own mind. You may feel like nobody is there, but I promise you have yourself, and that is a lot. It shouldn't end there, but the current moment might seek to prove that all you can count on is you. So count on you. Show up when times are hard, even though it's painful as ever, because showing up for yourself regardless will bring an uncommon comfort into your relationship with yourself.
There's no such thing as staying disciplined. Discipline is not this perpetual state of being, this trophy that you put on a shelf to display to your friends. Discipline is a day-by-day, hour-by-hour, minute-by-minute choice. Every decision you make, there's a path that opens up in front of you. You can either do the thing that's going to make you better, or you can do the thing that's going to make you worse. And every single time that that is presented to you, and you choose the path that's going to make you better, you have practiced discipline. On some days, choosing that path is going to feel easy, but it's in choosing that path on the days where you do not want to do it that you actually build discipline. Don't think for a second that you're just going to develop discipline and then that's it. The amount of effort that it took for you to choose discipline on day 1 is the same amount of effort that it's going to take for you to choose discipline on day 1000. If you want to be a disciplined person, make that your expectation.
Be authentic to who you are. That's what it comes down to. Like, you're not crazy, you're not broken, you're not something that needs to be fixed just because you're not like everybody else, right? Maybe you're not like everybody else because you have a gift that they don't have. So that's something to consider as well. And I found that to be the case more than not when it comes to listening to critiques or judgment or advice from other people. Okay, I'm me, the recipe is the recipe, and it is what it is.
Real strength is built when you face what you'd rather avoid. When you lean into the discomfort, that's where transformation happens. We all have that voice that tells us that we're not good enough. But that voice isn't you. It's the echo of old stories trying to keep you small. And every time you step into hard stuff, you rewrite that story. You strip away the doubts that never belonged to you in the first place. It's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about showing yourself what's possible. Strength is a choice, so make the right one now.
At the end of the day, the only measurement that matters is the measurement of you against yourself. You see, when we try to measure ourselves against other people, it's unfair because we don't know at what level they're performing. We don't know what their true potential is, so I don't know if they're performing at 20%, 50%, 80% of their capacity. So when I want to measure against them, I might be measuring against their average self. I'm not measuring necessarily against their best self, so if that's the benchmark I start using, it's immaterial. It doesn't matter because I don't really know what version of them they're bringing to the table. The only person where I know the absolute true potential, the absolute place at which they're performing, the commitment to excellence that that person has, the only person I know is me. And I know at the end of the day what percentage I gave. I know how much I put in. Every day if I measure against myself, the benchmark never changes. It's me. It's me and my abilities. It's me and my desire. It's me and my commitment to bring my best self every single day. I can have a true conversation at the end of the day and know what I provided, and know what I gave, and know where I'm at on my journey in excellence. By using myself as the measurement, there is no opportunity to lie. There is no opportunity to say, well, yeah, but they're just lucky, or they just have an advantage that I don't have, or they just have something, and make excuses. There are no excuses when I know exactly who I'm being measured against, because that measurement is me.
Success is showing up even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, even when it feels like you're not making any progress. Most people don't have the patience for that. They want everything now: success, money, recognition. And when it doesn't happen instantly, they throw in the towel and start over. That's why they stay stuck. They're trapped in a cycle of starting and stopping, chasing quick wins, but never staying long enough to build something real. Look, I get it. The grind isn't fun, but that's the price of success. You don't get to skip the work. You don't get to bypass the process. There are no shortcuts. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you're not willing to play the long game, you'll never make it. You need to commit. Commit to the process, not just the outcome. You can't just love the idea of success. You have to love the grind it takes to get there. You have to embrace the boring, the repetitive, the hard days when it feels like nothing is working. That's where most people quit. But that's exactly where the winners push through. If you're serious about success, stop looking for shortcuts. Stop quitting when it gets hard. Stop making excuses for why it's not happening fast enough. Put in the work, day after day, year after year. It's not glamorous, but that's how you win. Success rewards the patient, the disciplined, and the relentless. Not the ones who give up because the process wasn't fast or easy. So ask yourself, are you in this for the long haul? Or are you just another person who's going to give up and start over the second things get tough? Because if you're not ready to grind for years, if you're not ready to sacrifice, fail, and keep going, then you're not ready for success. But if you are, if you're willing to outwork everyone else and stay in the game longer than anyone else, you'll find out what's waiting for you on the other side. And I promise you, it's worth it. Here's another thing most people don't understand. Success isn't about being the best. It's about playing your role. Now let me say that again. It's not about being the best. It's about knowing your role and owning it. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to have it all figured out. What you do need is to master the position you're in right now, no matter how small it might seem. If you're at the bottom, own it. Be the best employee, the best student, the best follower you can possibly be. Don't complain about where you are. Use it as a training ground to prepare yourself for the next level. That's the part most people miss. They're so busy wishing they were at the top that they forget the most important lessons are learned at the bottom. Here's the truth. The best leaders didn't start as leaders. They started as followers. They mastered their roles. They put in the time. They earned their stripes. They learned the game from the inside out, step by step. They didn't rush it, and because of that, they understood every single part of the process. That's what makes them great leaders. They've been where you are, and they know exactly what it takes to move up. But here's the thing. If you can't handle being at the bottom, you'll never make it to the top. If you can't humble yourself enough to learn, listen, and work, you're never going to earn the right to lead. It's not about jumping ahead. It's about becoming so good at the level you're on that people have no choice but to move you up. So let me ask you, are you owning your role? Are you doing everything you can to master where you are right now? Or are you too busy complaining, making excuses, and wishing you were somewhere else? Because if you can't handle the role you're in today, what makes you think you'll handle the pressure of being at the top tomorrow? Master where you are. Stop fighting the process. Stop trying to skip steps. Own your role. Learn everything you can and do the work. Success doesn't come to people who sit around wishing for it. It comes to people who are prepared when the opportunity shows up. Success isn't about being the loudest, the smartest, or the most talented. It's about listening. It's about obeying. It's about doing the work. It's about discipline, patience, and mastering your role so that when your time comes, you're ready. The people who make it in life aren't the ones complaining about their circumstances. They're not the ones looking for shortcuts or blaming everyone else for why they're not successful. They're the ones who show up every single day, put their egos aside, and grind. They're the ones who learn, listen, and apply what they've been taught. So here's my challenge to you. Stop running your mouth. Stop making excuses. Stop trying to skip the process. Start listening. Start obeying. Start showing up every single day and doing the hard, unglamorous work that no one wants to do. Start playing the long game, mastering your role, and preparing yourself for the opportunities you say you want. You want to change your life? It starts with you. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Do the work and watch what happens when you stay consistent. Now stop scrolling, stop procrastinating, and get out there. Make it happen.
There's two people, the man who thinks they can and the man who thinks they can't, and they're both right.
Do what your future self wants to have done. And if you can't conceptualize your future self, you are currently the future self to your past. Your life is a product of your past decisions, and right now is a pretty dang good opportunity to make the decisions that'll leave you gratified instead of devastated years from now. The crazy thing is you'll become this future self one day at a time, but somehow years are going to pass. And if you spend those years outsourcing pain to your later self, you'll be wishing you could come back to right now to face what needs to be faced.
We're not men because we face the battle and we get immediately victory every time a battle comes up. We're men because we face the battle and we stay in the battle when we feel like we're losing and we feel like we're getting beat up. But we stay in there and we keep fighting and we plant our feet and we say, until death do I part, this is me and I will fight this battle, regardless of what the battle is. Being tired is part of fighting.
You tell yourself that achieving your goals is too hard.
You're constantly questioning, what if I fail? You think to yourself that you can't keep going, but I've got a question for you. What other option do you have? Understand that your entire life has been spent in a cave, locked to the wall, no escape. The only thing that you knew was the shadows, a false version of reality. But eventually, one day, those chains break. You're free. You get up, you walk to the end of the cave, and you finally see the light. You finally understood what's possible. You finally understood that within you lies the capability to accomplish anything, given that you build yourself into the person that can do so. And once you've realized that, there is no going back. Your only option is to keep pushing, is to keep moving forward, is to keep enduring and suffering until you've built the life that you truly want to live. So don't give up now. Don't end your dreams early. For if you remain steadfast, remain disciplined, I guarantee that you will build the life of your dreams.
Winners are people that everything that they do, all the habits that they instill are the habits of a winner. A winner isn't a final product. A winner is a lifestyle. A winner is a concurrent set of actions that lead you to a final destination. Same way is for losers. Usually losers inhibit behaviors of losing people. Who they hang out with, what they eat, what they listen to, what they consume on a regular basis, how they think about themselves, how they view the world.
Everyone's hypercritical and terrified to do anything and put themselves out there and fail. So we hyperanalyze, hypercriticize, become paralyzed, and end up doing nothing, sitting in our basements, watching TikToks of other people's lives, pretending that they're happy. I was having one of those cynical days and felt like ranting a little. But honestly, there's optimism here for some low barrier of entry personal growth. Stop analyzing, stop criticizing, both yourself and others, and go fail at something. Go give someone a good job for sucking at something, because at least they're trying. Maybe we'll even give yourself permission to do the same. We find meaning in trying difficult things, not just in succeeding at them.
That's why I think it's so tough. I think so many people are just constantly searching for answers without ever looking at themselves and realizing that when you change yourself, the answers are just gonna come out of that place. They're gonna flow from that. So many of our answers that we are looking for come from just changing what's within ourselves. It comes from looking at ourselves in the mirror and being honest about the things that we're dealing with, the things that we're going through, the things that are holding us back, and working on changing them from the internal. Right? Why do you do that thing? Right? Because a habit, an external habit that you have, a decision or choice that you keep making, is a reflection of something going on within yourself. So you're gonna waste so much energy or extend so much energy trying to change the external habit, the external choice, the external decision, the external thing, without ever touching what the root cause of that thing actually is. Right? And that's why you always relapse. That's why you always fall back into that trap. That's why you always resort back to the bad habits, because you haven't changed your inner environment. You haven't gotten to the root of why you even do that thing in the first place. You got to figure that out. You have to figure that out.
It's all about the mental approach that you have with life, and people not understanding that your biggest enemy is you. You battling yourself. People don't understand it's you against you. The only person that gets in your way is you. Nobody else. It's you.
Your urgency level will dictate what you're willing to tolerate. Your urgency level will always dictate what you're willing to tolerate. Your urgency level for success will always dictate what you're willing to tolerate. Your urgency level for greatness will always dictate what you're willing to tolerate. Your urgency level for the person that you're striving to become will always dictate what you're willing to tolerate. If you got an urgency level to want to do something, it's certain environments that you don't even go into. It's certain dialogue that you don't even entertain. It's certain people that you don't even hang around. It's certain things that you don't even do. It's certain things that you don't even eat. It's certain places that you're not even willing to go. Your urgency level will always dictate what you're willing to tolerate. You can say it all day, but if you ain't got no urgency for it, I don't believe it.
You've come so far. You've come so far. You've come so far, and you're not done yet.
Doing the work isn't just about grinding through the day. It's about building strength in the part of you that says, I'm in control. It's about being in charge of how you show up. You are always in control of your life. So just keep going, one intentional move at a time.
Everything changed for me when I realized we're not meant to feel excited and perfect all the time.
The idea of pursuing happiness, not leading to happiness. You know, you pursue things that have meaning in life and things that you care about. You know, love, challenges, relationships, and happiness might ensue. But you don't pursue the happiness itself because it's inevitably not going to be there all the time.
So this is the simplest way to change your life from what I've found. You ask yourself this question as many times as you can throughout the day. The question is what I'm doing right now getting me closer to or further from my goals? If the answer is closer to, then keep doing that thing. But if the answer is further from, immediately stop what you're doing and take a different action that's going to help you get closer to your goals.
Like I said, everything that comes into your life, it could either be a blessing or a burden. And the only thing that determines that is you. Blessings are in opportunities, right? So if you view everything that you go through, everything that happens to you as an opportunity, what's going to start to happen is you're going to start finding blessings in everything that you go through. You're going to realize how everything that you go through is a blessing. It's something that you won't really fully understand until you look back in hindsight. But even still, after you realize that the struggle, the adversity, the hardship, the thing not going your way was a blessing, it's going to help you to start seeing the things that you go through in the future differently.
It is shockingly easy to get stuck. Maybe that's in a habit. Maybe it's a place around a group of people. I don't know, but the reality is even if at one point that felt like the next step, even if at one point that felt like the right thing to do, sometimes you still need to take that next step and move on. Because the reality is in life, if you want to keep growing, if you want to keep evolving as a person, there's no real stasis. You always have to dive into new things. You always have to find new discomfort zones. And even if you found a place that's incredible and the moment is perfect, be there, be present, enjoy it. But remember, at some point, there might be a point to move on. And when that time comes, try not to hesitate. Anyways, that's worth a shot.
What is the role of patience in life?
One of my favorite woods is the oak wood, because no matter which furniture is made out of it, it's always a solid, good quality wood. Why do things sometimes need so much time to grow and others go so quickly and directly express themselves? What do you want? Big lights, big attraction on the outside, but in the core, nothing fundamental, nothing sustainable, nothing solid, no good quality. Or the German oak, slowly, steadily, highly energized, highly stable. And if you want to become solid, stable, deeply rooted, there's no other way without patience.
It's this idea that we don't control what happens to us in life, but we control how we respond to what happens in life. And the Stoics say that basically every situation, big ones, small ones, ones you wanted, ones you didn't want, it's all an opportunity to respond with these 4 virtues. The virtues are courage, discipline, justice, and wisdom. So the idea is that that is what life is asking from you, one or all of those virtues in some kind of a combination. That's what it's demanding of you.
This is the comeback. Maybe you're in a rut, maybe you've just experienced failure, or maybe you're just lost. But this is the part in your story where the momentum shifts. This is where you find the drive that you've been looking for. It is now. This is the start of your comeback. The vision that you have for your future, everything you so desire, is begging you to pick yourself up and begin your journey. Because the window is closing, and if you pass this one up, you very well may solidify your eternal existence within the dreadful cycle of stagnation.
What if I told you that the reason why you want certain things so deeply is because it's already yours at some point on your timeline, where you actually feel the future and you're just working towards that point in time?
The only thing I'm trying to conquer in this video is getting you to not do the one wrong path, which is fear. Fear of not making it work, fear of other people's disapproval, that you aren't cool anymore, or because you don't show up to social events, or because you don't blow money on stuff that doesn't matter anymore, or you're not wearing the brands that they think are cool. I'm not saying that that stuff's not gonna happen. It absolutely will happen. And it might even be worse than you imagine. But you will not die. And if you use the frame, does me losing all of these relationships and having more time increase the likelihood that I get to my goal, or decrease the likelihood that I get to my goal? All of a sudden, when you use the goal frame of the best version of you, it starts to make things a lot clearer. And I'm not saying that you have to make that sacrifice every time. But the thing is you're making a sacrifice either way. You're either sacrificing your goals or you're sacrificing that relationship.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
Don't expect people to understand you. Don't expect it to make sense to anybody why you've got to do this, why you have got to go, why you leave. This is a good job. I'm going. They pay you well. I'm going. Why? I don't understand. You don't have to. I'm going for me because I've made a different kind of commitment with my life. This is something I have got to do.
For some reason, most people don't know this, but discipline isn't just about getting the work done. It's about winning the small battles every single day. Understand that if you practice discipline for today, you set the tone for the week. And if you win enough of those weeks, you will win the month. And if you win enough of these months, you win the year. And if you stay disciplined year after year, you will build the life of your dreams. But you have to remember that the life that you want to live is built upon the discipline that you practice today. So how are you going to spend it?
Rather than trying to impress people who don't give a shit about you, just start impressing the next 2.0 version of yourself. Like, what would the next highest, most stoic version of you be impressed by today? Would it be impressed by the fact that you're going to bed earlier? That you're waking up and getting your workout in? That you're eating right? That you're reading, 5, 10, 15 pages out of a book every day? Would it be impressed by the fact that you're no longer on social media as much as you are? What would the future self be impressed by?
People's opinion of you is none of your business, nor should you make it yours. You get in a lot of trouble worrying about what somebody think about you, when really, what difference do it make? The majority of people who have a negative viewpoint of you really don't even know you.
What do you do when the people closest to you don't support your growth? And the main reason they don't support it is because you're killing off the person they love. Think about that, like you're changing who you are and they're comfortable with who you are and they feel that's their reality too, is caught up in who you are being. So when you decide to change, you're killing off their buddy or their whatever, and you're screwing up their reality because you fit into theirs.
Your belief system has to be really, really strong. You have to really, really believe it and really, really want it. Otherwise, it's just too much to endure. I mean, because, everybody's questioning you and people outside are questioning you. And it's a little embarrassing. It's hard to explain, and so there's no good answers to any of that stuff. And these challenges are hard to endure.
The idea that working hard doesn't make progress is one of the biggest farces that exists in humanity, because at the end of the day, whatever you amount to isn't going to matter anyways, right? And so if there is anything that's eternal for us, at least as individuals, it's going to be who we become in the process. The work works on you more than you work on it. If you want to be the best in the world at something, you do the work to become the best in the world, and the work works on you.
First wish is for you to find joy in work. Find work that gives you great joy, or just fall in love with whatever work you do. That's the only way you're going to do your best work. That's the only way you're going to do exquisite work. Instead of working for a living, think of it as your life's work. So my first wish to you is the same, that I wish you find joy in your work.
You can choose right now to become the kind of person that is going to invest all of their time, all of their resources, all of their energy into becoming the person that lives the ideal vision that you have for your life. And it's going to be hard. You're going to have to make investments that other people your age and your position are not going to be making. And they're going to judge you, and they're going to make fun of you, and they're going to laugh at you. But in the end, you get a reward. You get to live a life that others can't. You get to do things they can't. You get to become things they won't. You get to make impacts they don't. Your entire existence will be a reward for the effort that you put in on the front end. Is it going to be painful now with a reward later, or is it going to be fun now with pain later?
I need you to step into it. I need you to step into it because you're already ready for it. It's the voice in your head that's telling you you're not ready for it. That's telling you, look at the past, look at the past, look at the past. If you look at the past, you will pick your focus off what you're doing, on what you're supposed to be going into.
Ask yourself these following questions and be brutally honest. Do I set clear goals and follow through, even when things get difficult? Am I the type of person who gets back up easily after experiencing failure? Am I disciplined and consistent in my efforts? Do I seek continuous learning and self-improvement? Am I adaptable and open to change? And finally, do I have a good support system?
You're making impact in how you show up every single day. And the thing that people don't talk about is that you're making impact whether you choose to be conscious of it or not. You're either making a positive impact or a negative impact. Let's be real, let's talk about this, because sometimes we just talk about, oh, positive impact, but you're impacting something. You are a leader, regardless. Somebody somewhere at some time is watching what you do. They're watching how you operate. They're watching how you respond. They're watching how you keep your composure. They're watching how you persevere. They're watching how you endure. They're watching how you bounce back. They're watching you, right? You are a leader. You are setting the tone for somebody else's life.
It's so crazy for us to think like as individuals, everything comes from us. Your ideas, everything that you get is coming from a library of existence. Nothing is new under the sun. In fact, the sun that you look up at every day is one of trillions upon trillions upon trillions of other stars. Nothing is new. Once you realize the insignificance of yourself, then you understand what your actual significance is. You're lucky to be a comma in the sentence of a paragraph that happens to be in a page of a book called existence. You're lucky to be the dot on an I. Lucky. Or turn it upside down. The dot on the bottom of an exclamation. You are lucky to be that. But imagine the people that walk around thinking that they are the book.
Just keep living, man. I mean, what else are we supposed to do when we don't have any idea what to do? When we know exactly what we want to do? Make it matter. Even when it doesn't matter, that matters.
You think someone's ruined your life? You're right. It's you.
This ain't you, bro. This ain't you. The reason why you're a loser, the reason why you're making it, you're lazy, you know exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. Because even me, I knew exactly what to do. It just sucks doing it. It sucks to do it.
I mean, really think about this for a second. Everything that you've ever wanted is on the other side of one thing, and that's work. Work is the only thing that is standing between where you are now and who you want to be. So listen, you can sit here and you can lie to both you and I and say that I'm busy, but we both know you have the time. So just get back to work.
Keep on going. When the odds are against you and the world around you is on fire, keep going. When you are engulfed in the flames and they've counted you out, keep going. When evil tugs at your feet, desperately trying to deceive and manipulate you, keep going. My friend, there is nothing in this world that you cannot do. I promise you that.
Success is right at the end of your hard times. If you're going through something difficult right now, you have to know that it's for a reason. Everything you want will be given to you once you go through this trial, once you go through this tribulation. Because if you prove yourself strong enough to go through something hard, if you prove yourself strong enough to not be crushed by whatever it is you're facing, you will be a better person on the other end out. And that better person is capable of doing more. Whatever it is you please, it's at the end of your hard times.
You may have been fooled because sometimes it's more convenient to say you can cast your power onto this thing that happened that was outside of your control as the reason why you can't be successful, because it's easier to say that than to say that I chose not to do anything about it anyways. And again, listen, you can do whatever you want. You can just keep wallowing in that. You can keep saying that that's the reason, and wherever you point is where your power is. But the only time that you have more power is if you say it's on you, because all of those things may have happened and they may have all been terrible. What are you gonna do about it? Like, no one cares. Like, the world doesn't care. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can start doing something about it.
I would say inaction is probably far worse than wrong action. Because at least if you make some mistakes and some f***ups, you get to learn from them. You know, if you don't do anything, you just kind of stay comfortable. So you got to be the guy who has to deal with the thoughts on the regular of, oh man, what could have been? Do whatever it is you're thinking about. Because odds are, if you don't, your pattern of not doing it is very strong. You will not regret it. I can say that for sure.
People who are successful look at the clock and they believe that every day is a race against that clock. How much can they get done before they can't work anymore, before they have to go home? And so that clock is an enemy, and they race against the enemy. They want to do lots of stuff, and they'll come in earlier, and they'll work at lunchtimes, and they'll stay later, and they'll come in on the weekends because they want to cover more ground. Well, 80% of people have a different attitude toward the clock. The clock is the enemy as well, but the clock tells you when you have to start. And so you find successful people see the clock differently. They see time as an opportunity to contribute more value. Unsuccessful people see the clock as the indicator of when they can stop working.
Who wants to speed up success? I do. I want to get there faster. All right, so how do you do it? Are you ready? Total immersion. Only one way. Become a freak. I need you to know that the stuff that you want, millions of people want the same thing you want and will never get it. So why, you, and how? Total immersion. Guys, I want to crack you open and I want to see that you're crazy, because only crazy people make it. Dive into something with more passion, with more dedication than you have ever done in your entire life.
Winning makes you different. And you know what different does? It scares people. Different scares people. It really, really does.
But I knew for me to grow, I had to do this thing every single day. I wanted to start callousing my mind. I wanted to start becoming a better person. And how you become a better person, how you gain mental toughness, how you become the person you want to be, is constantly facing the things that you don't want to face. If you constantly run away from things that you don't want to face, how is there growth?
See, this is what you don't get. The reason to become the person you want to be isn't about showing off or proving a point. It's not about relying on others to give you validation. While it may feel good to get validation from others, that should not be what drives you. It should be to grow and expand your mindset as an individual to make an impact and difference on the world. Create a name and a legacy for yourself based on energy that you radiate, not the validation you get from others. People who seek others for approval are further away from their true selves.
There's going to be a lot of things in life that you don't have control over. They might cripple you, hurt you, and break you into pieces. But they will also build your character. So when you encounter them, don't be scared. Welcome them as opportunities to grow and be a better version of yourself. It might be hard, but through that process, you'll come out the other side stronger. It's all part of your story. Keep going.